Our last video with try-catch blocks is going to be with our enumerated project. And so the date on this one is going to be 5/6/2019. And this is going to be an example of a try-catch with our enumerated program. So remember in the enumerated program, I had decided the seasons would be, I'd start the seasons at 1, which means that these are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So the user really needs to enter 1, 2, 3, or 4 on their, with their seasons, okay? And actually, if I go back in and I open up the original project without enums just to see how this runs. So if we look at the original enumerated data type example, when we ran that code, remember that we would input our month and it would be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And based upon that month, accordingly, the previous season, summer or winter, would be printed. Now, I went ahead and used the parallel arrays to get the actual season to print out. You guys could have just printed out the numeric values. And then we were supposed to enter -1 to quit. So that's what the code did before. We are going to take a look at what it looks like if I put in a try-catch block with an exception. So basically, not a whole lot's going to change except the following. My declarations here at the beginning of the program are still the same. I have a string array and I have a user choice and a season, favorite season. All of my code that is I want to run is going to be inside this try block. So everything here is my try block. Basically, that's all my code. And actually, I needed one more line of code right here. This is all inside the try block. And so the ending curly brace for the try block is down here on line 48. And then I have a catch statement that is going to bring in a character message and it's going to output that message. And so that is my try catch block. So basically you put the guts of your program inside the try block. If any mistake occurs in here at all, it throws an error, and in this case the error message is going to be handled. So this one shows an example of the error message being handled in a function. And so what I did was, if the person enters a favorite season that is less than 1 or greater than 4, then it's going to throw an error message. So now I have my error handling inside my function. And then the rest of the function is how we wrote it before. So if I run this code, what's going to happen is, if I entered an appropriate season, let's say winter, it should execute. But let's say I enter 5, which is outside my code, then it says invalid input error, and then it's done. So it quits the program, it threw the error. That was the error message that I had up here. I just said invalid input error, and so that's the message that got thrown back to here as MSG for the message, and then that message got outputted with my C error. That's the type of exception handling that you guys will put into your projects, and you need to do 2 examples of that. To show me that, what I said, instead of doing a screenshot, you can copy this, or if you're using the GDB, I think you can, hold on. I think there's a place here that you can just copy output to clipboard. And then it's copied to the clipboard, and you can click and just paste it right in here. And so that shows me right here the error message, invalid input error. Okay. And so you can just copy and paste. Instead of doing a screenshot, you can copy and paste that execution of your code showing the error, and you should be fine. So that's the example of a try-catch block using the enumerated type, and it shows an example of how you will put this into your code. So you have to have that try, and then the ending curly brace for the try, and you have a catch block. And then I decided to handle mine within the method, so I'm throwing my error within the private season data, or print season data method.